I wanted to take a quick minute to talk with you guys about chat laps. And if you're joining in live or watching on a replay, if you have implemented something like this and it works well, I'd love to hear from you. But chat laps, what are they? So chat laps are a constructive way to kind of help direct and guide talking in your lessons. And the problem that they solve is the talking. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I would find myself trying to talk over or teach over some very well-intentioned volunteers or some very excited students, and it got tiring and sometimes frustrating. And so to make everything a little bit more clear and flow better and to set very clear expectations for the class, I started implementing chat laps. And the frequency of them kind of varied depending on the needs of the class and the needs of the students. But basically what they were is that everyone knew that during the start of the lesson, they had, say for example, one lap to the left and one lap to the right around the arena, where that was their chat lap with their team. So they could talk about what happened during school that day. They could talk about their family vacation they went on, or if Christmas had just happened or whatever had been going on. For the students who struggle with starting dialogue, and maybe we had a newer team of volunteers out there that didn't know how to maybe draw out that communication and start talking, sometimes we would give everyone ideas of discussion starters. So what was something that made you smile today? What is your favorite color of horse? What is your favorite thing that you do in a lesson? Anything along those lines. And sometimes that's very helpful for those students that maybe struggle with verbal communication, starting up small chat, and even some of our volunteers, maybe they're newer and they just don't really know yet how to interact with our students on that way. So even giving those topics as a starting point for our volunteers is helpful. So if you're joining on, if you want to drop a comment on whether or not you have implemented something along the lines of chat laps and if it has helped, I'd love to hear from you. But the chat laps have really helped me, especially in those group lessons, politely redirect the talking. So everyone knows that, okay, this is our time and our place to talk at the beginning of the lesson. And then usually at the end of during the lesson, if we're focusing on a riding skill or a horsemanship skill, this could be during a groundwork lesson too. It doesn't have to just be a mounted riding lesson. But if there's chatter between the volunteers and your students, or peer-to-peer, student to student, you can say, okay guys, I understand that you guys are wanting to talk about something. Let's focus on this skill that we're working on. At the end, you guys can have one chat lap each direction to talk about what you'd like to talk about. But for right now, for the next 10 minutes, we're going to be focusing on this skill. So it's a really great way to teach some self-regulation, some social skills, patience, and also learning when it is appropriate and not appropriate to be talking. And so even though we're out there learning riding skills and horsemanship skills, those are some life skills that we can throw in as well and help reinforce and help model and guide. But it's not just no talking. It's we're not going to talk right now, and here's an appropriate time to talk. So it's a really good tool to help your volunteers and your riders know when it's okay to talk, and have it not be kind of picking on them over and over about the talking. So just redirecting, here's the time and the place to talk right now, let's refocus. So chat laps are something that I love to incorporate in all of my lessons, whether they're able-bodied or traditional, and drop me a comment or a note and let me know if you have ever implemented anything along the lines of chat laps and if they have been helpful.